crazy. World's getting crazy out there. Time to tell the truth. Time for King BAV to kick some facts.
Yo, welcome. This is King BAV. It's my first podcast episode. I'm very excited to do this because it seems like everybody out there in the world of music has a podcast now. And I figured with the new single out, Lunatic Fringe, which you heard a little bit of before this started, and with a new album coming out most likely within the next couple of months, that this would be a cool way to reach you, the fans, and talk about music. Not just my music, but music in general. And you guys feel free. You can always reach me at Twitter, at KingBAV. You can reach me on Instagram at KingBAV _duh, D-A, King, K-I-N-G. And give me some ideas of what you want to hear me talk about. I think that'd be kind of cool, kind of dope. You let me know. Anyway, so that's kind of where I think I'm going to take this. We'll talk about some news and going on in music, and we'll talk about my music because, hey, I'm the king. This is my format. You're listening to it. Very cool. All right, with that said and done, one thing I do want to talk about that I thought was pretty dope, and I use those words because that's the words that were used, is a Twitter exchange. Actually, this week regarding, it was between actually LL Cool J and Ice-T. Any of you who were around back in the day when these two were really big rappers in the world of hip-hop will remember that Ice-T went off on LL Cool J in his song I'm Your Pusher, in which he basically tells LL Cool J, you know, you don't have enough that you got going on there. We don't want to hear what you have to say, and you're not really part of my world, and basically dissed him in the song. And then LL Cool J came back on an album later and did a song called To the Break of Dawn, in which he then pretty much dissed Ice-T. And so it was this big mic fight that was going on between these two big rappers back in the day. Well, the cool thing is that Ice-T just finished rapping his 400th episode of his program, SUV, which is on NBC, I believe. And LL Cool J tweeted him and said, "That's dope." And then Ice-T responded that they've come a long way. And that's absolutely true. That's pretty cool. So I thought I'd bring that up, and yes, that's very dope. And it's cool to see these two cats get it together after all these years. So that's my big take on that. We get the Grammys coming up this coming weekend, and that's something that's interesting for those of you who watch it. There's lots of cool interactions between people. I'm looking forward to a lot of them. And so there's always lots of talk the day after. So I'm looking forward to that. And we can have more discussion on that in the next podcast episode. All right. So that's kind of my take this week on the week of music. And like I said, we'll cover more of it next week when we get into some maybe Grammy wrap-up discussion. As far as other things, there are a couple things that I do want to talk about in this podcast. Obviously, again, being King BAV and having a new single out, I do want to kind of talk a little bit about that single at this point so you guys know a little bit more about it. The single is called Lunatic Fringe, and it's off my soon-to-be-released fourth album. Fourth album's being worked on. The music's almost completed on it. It's pretty cool. Most of my vocals are down. The music all down. Have a few things to work on. Then we're going to mix it, get it mastered, and hopefully get it out to you guys within the next couple of months. And I will have a lot more information both on my podcast, on my Twitter feed and Instagram feeds, and even Snapchat. I go on there as well and like to connect with the fans. We'll kind of talk to you guys more about that album. I'm going to start dropping hints about what the name is of the album, when it will be coming out. I'll be dropping some track lists. We'll be doing some contests, so it'll be kind of cool. I really do hope you guys follow me. And like I said, if you haven't yet, you need to. Twitter, at KingBAV, Instagram, KingBAV _duh, King, D-A, King. follow me there and let me know what you guys think of this and the music and any questions you have, and I'll try to answer them both there and this way, because this is a really cool format for me to be able to be talking to you guys on. So there's that. Now, the single Lunatic Fringe was released late last year and doing pretty well. Checking out the download list I get, looks like you guys have been doing a great job downloading it, so I can thank you for that. And I'll tell you, keep streaming it on Spotify and watching it on YouTube and downloading it Google Play and on iTunes and Apple Music and any other format you guys have, because it's really cool to get it out there. It's great to have this stuff played for everyone. My enjoyment is recording it, and then I love to hear what you guys have to think about it and what the response is for listening to it. So I do want you to keep doing that. Please, retweet to your friends. When you get tweets, retweet them so that your friends can all find out how to get the music. And go ahead and download it. The single is, I must say, dirt cheap, 99 cents to download the single. Like I said, you can stream it on Spotify. YouTube's a really cool source. I like putting together videos for the music. And that song was a fun song. I don't really have enough time in this podcast to go through too much of it. I think maybe we'll do that next week. But I'll tell you a little bit about it. It was a pretty fun song to write, basically about what's going on in the world today, both politically and financially and just in general, growing up in the world today. That's pretty much got a lot of premise of what Lunatic Fringe is about. So I definitely had a lot of fun writing that song. The recording of that song was it was great. It went really fast. The vocals did not take too long to put together, and it was really just dope. It was awesome to do. And with every song in this album, I've written them all, produced them all, been involved in mixing them all. So it's been really like a great thing to undertake, to have an entire album worth of music being yours. And so it's great. So if you guys keep going out there and streaming and downloading, that would be awesome. And just tell your friends, Lunatic Fringe, first single off the soon-to-be-released fourth King BAV album. And we'll talk more about that next week on the podcast. And like I said, I'll start dropping some hints regarding album title and song track lists and everything else. And again, please let me know what questions you have. The process of writing for me is so much fun, because I know that eventually you guys are going to all hear it, and I get feedback from you as to the fact that you enjoy it, and that really is exciting to me, to know that the music actually means something to you. It's just an awesome feeling. As you all know, I have 3 current albums that are out. First one is Violence is Golden. That one has the singles I Rock, I'll Take Your Girl Too. The second album, Rhyme Bomb, love that album. Produced it all, wrote it all myself. And the third album, Behind the Wall, sort of autobiographical title track on that, had the single On the Mic and the single Behind the Wall. They're all available, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon. Follow me on Twitter, and you'll find all this out, because I will post for you. So feel free, download those, stream those, purchase those, whatever. It's all good. I think you'll enjoy them. And for those of you who have them already, thank you so much for doing that. And that pretty much is going to wrap up this podcast this week. We're going to do another one. I'll have it ready to go next week for you guys. And in the meantime, I'm going to remind you, the new King BAV single, Lunatic Fringe, out there now. Go find it and download it. New album will soon to be released. Please remember to follow me, Twitter, at KingBAV, and on Instagram, at KingBAV _DA King. That's it for this week. I'll talk to you cats next week.
We're on the fringe of a lunatic fringe. We're on the fringe of a lunatic fringe. We're on the fringe of a lunatic fringe.